Hi friends, welcome back to our channel. What solution does Agrippa propose to establish peace between Caesar and Antony? Antony should make a public apology for neglecting his duties to the empire. Antony should marry Caesar's sister Octavia. Antony should turn over a portion of his kingdom to Caesar. Both men should drink heartily and forget the past. Answer: Antony should marry Caesar's sister Octavia. How does Cleopatra react to the news that Antony has married Octavia? She faints. She sends Antony a letter demanding that he never return to Egypt. She beats her messenger, then orders him to go and seize up the competition. She courts Caesar in hopes that he will destroy Antony. Answer: she beats her messenger that orders him to go and seize up the competition. What does Cleopatra contribution to Antony's battle with Caesar? A fleet of 60 ships, an army of 10,000 soldiers, an camel to protect Antony in battle, a golden dagger. Answer: a fleet of 60 ships. How does Cleopatra repay Antony after leading him into a retreat? With a kiss, with the promise of marriage, by giving him her kingdom, by agreeing to seduce Caesar so that Antony may kill him. Answer: with a kiss. What does Antony request of Caesar after losing the battle to him? To be publicly vilified for his cowardly behavior, to be judged fairly by a jury of his peers, to be allowed to live in Egypt with Cleopatra, to be allowed to return to Rome and resume his marriage to Octavia. Answer: to be allowed to live in Egypt with Cleopatra. In the play's opening scene, why do the Roman soldiers fault Antony? He is overly ambitious and plans to decide the Roman state by waging war against Caesar. His cowardice in battle has resulted in the loss of valuable sea trade routes to Pompey. His excessive fondness for Cleopatra threatens to compromise his duties as a Roman statesman. An irresponsible drinker, Antony often treats his subordinates disrespectfully. Answer: his excessive fondness for Cleopatra threatens to compromise his duties as a Roman statesman. What do chairman and heirs do in order to foresee their futures? Consult a crystal ball, summon a soothsayer who reads their palms, read tea leaves, visit a witch. Answer: summon a soothsayer who reads their palms. How does Antony react to the news of Fulvia's death? He regrets having wished her dead and wishes her back. He weeps uncontrollably. He chastises Cleopatra for keeping him from his true family. The news does not faze him. He regrets having wished her dead and wishes her back. Why does Caesar condemn Antony for abandoning Rome? He does not like the fact that Antony is having more fun than he is. He cannot collect taxes on Antony's unoccupied lands. He himself loves Cleopatra and is jealous of Antony's relationship with her. He and Oedipus are left with the unfair burden of responding to Pompey's armies by themselves. Answer: he and Oedipus are left with the unfair burden of responding to Pompey's armies by themselves. Upon leaving Egypt, what does Antony send to Cleopatra as a gift? A golden comb, apparel, a snake-shaped bracelet, a cask of fine wine. Answer: apparel. The play begins with the Duke leaving his deputy in charge of the city in his absence. Where does the Duke say he is going? Poland, Augsburg, Rome, Salzburg. Answer: Poland. In reality, the Duke intends to remain in town incognito in order to observe how Angelo handles the job. Why? He suspects Angelo of being too lieutenant. He suspects Angelo of being corrupt. Angelo's moral standards have never been tested by reality. He intends to retire and leave Angelo in charge permanently. Answer: Angelo's moral standards have never been tested by reality. What disguise does Duke Vincentio adopt? A philosopher, a beggar, a friar, a tradesman. Answer: a friar. One of Angelo's first acts is to sentence a young man named Claudio to death. What was Claudio's crime? Lechery, petty theft, drunkenness, non-payment of debt. Answer: lechery. Claudio's sister Isabella is about to enter a convent belonging to which religious order? Domitian, Carmelite, Saint Bridget, Saint Clare. Answer: Saint Clare. When Isabella goes to Angelo to plead for her brother's life, what, to Angelo's great surprise, happens? He falls in love with her or lust. They fall in love with each other. She suddenly declares that she has fallen in love with him. They suddenly begin to kiss passionately. Answer: he falls in love with her or lust. At their second interview, Isabella is horrified when, in exchange for her brother's life, Angelo asks her to do this: marry him, sleep with him, become his mistress, all of the above. Answer: sleep with him. Angelo had renounced his betrothal to Mariana, citing some cousin that he had heard about her virtue. What does the Duke believe to have been the real reason Angelo renounced Mariana? He discovered she was not a virgin. He had fallen in love with someone else. There was some cousins to her virtue. She had lost her dowry. Answer: she had lost her dowry. In this final scene, Vincentio, whilst disguise Friar Lodovic, is roundly abused by Lucio, who is much charged when he discovers his true identity. How does Vincentio punish Lucio? Puts him in the stocks, banishes him, requires him to marry a war, sends him to be beheaded. Answer: requires him to marry a war. At the play's conclusion, Vincentio, who has fallen in love with Isabella, asks her to marry him. And how does she respond? She does not reply. She says no. She says yes. She demurs, but then changes her mind. Answer: she does not reply. Who said, "Beseech your highness, do not marry me to war"? Angelo, Lucio, Claudio, Frederick. Answer: Lucio. Who said, "Well, Angelo, your evil quiets you well"? Isabella, Claudio, Duke, Mariana. Answer: the Duke. Measure for Measure is a play obsessed with jazz, love, death, money, corruption. Answer: death. What does Isabella hate about her brother? The confidence he has, his disappear, his lack of faith, the crime he committed. Answer: the crime he committed. Who does Mariana think should accuse Angelo of fornication? Juliet, Isabella, Mariana, the Duke. Answer: Isabella. Who is the first character to speak in Act 2, Scene 3? The Duke, the Provost, Angelo, Claudio. Answer: the Duke. What physical feature does Angelo love most about Isabella as she pleads for Claudio's life? Her skin, her voice, her hands, her eyes. Answer: her eyes. What does the Duke feel Claudio deserves after speaking with the woman in Act 2, Scene 3? A meeting with his new son, a chance to plead his case, mercy, exactly what he got. Answer: mercy. How does Claudio feel after speaking with the disguised Duke? Terrified, prepared to die, peaceful, anxious. Answer: prepared to die. Who does Isabella think should accuse Angelo of fornication? Juliet, Isabella, the Duke, Mariana. Answer: Mariana. What is the name of the friar the Duke is disguised as? Friar Lucas, Friar Ludwig, Friar Lodovic, Friar Longpole. Answer: Friar Lodovic. What does Isabella feel the need to prepare Claudio for after her second meeting with Angelo? Her wedding, escape, a ruined reputation, death. Answer: death. Where does Act 2, Scene 3 take place? In a search, in the courtroom, in the prison, on the street. Answer: in the prison. What does the provost hope the Duke will have when he enters the prison? A summons to court, a replacement, news from the Duke, a pardon for Claudio. Answer: a pardon for Claudio. How does the brother of Angelo's fiancée die? He was lost at sea. He was hung for lechery. He died at war. He was bucked off a horse. Answer: he was lost at sea. Who does the Duke plan to speak with when he leaves the scene after talking to the woman? Angelo, Claudio, the Provost, the Pope. Answer: Claudio. What does Lucio call the Duke while speaking to Isabella after Claudio's supposed execution? Duke of dark corners, Duke of dreaded innocence, Duke of devotion, Duke of devastation. Answer: Duke of dark corners, devastation. What has Isabella unloosed in Angelo after pleading for her brother's life? His temptations, his compassion, his anger, his lust. Answer: his lust. Why is Angelo's fiancée reluctant to be a part of the Duke's plan? She does not want to sin. She does not want to make Angelo angry. She does not want to hurt Isabella's feeling. She does not love Angelo anymore. Answer: she does not want to sin. What does Lucio say to Isabella after news of Claudio's supposed execution has spread? He is sorry. He loves her. He got what he deserved. He tried to stop out. Answer: he is sorry. Whose child does Mistress Overdon raise? the dukes Claudius, Lucius, Angelos. Answer: Lucius. What does the duke give to the person who knows his disguise at the end of Act 4? Edicts, letters, directions, money. Answer: letters. What does Angelo say when Isabella makes a complaint against him? She is lying, she is mad, her brother was a fornicator, she has been drinking. Answer: she is mad. How does Angelo threaten to kill Claudio if Isabella refuses his offer? He will make his wife and child watch. He will starve him offer immediately, long and painful. Answer: long and painful. How will the woman get into Angelo's house for the rendezvous? Through a wooden gate, through the servants' entrance, through the front doors, through a window. Answer: through a wooden gate. What does Claudio ask the duke to do for him after Isabella leaves? Let him see his son before he dies, give her Juliet a lock of his hair, apologize to Isabella for him, convince Isabella to accept the proposal. Answer: apologize to Isabella for him. What does the duke tell Angelo's fiancée to calm her fears about the plan? Isabella has no feelings for Angelo. She will come to love him soon enough. It is not a sin since they are engaged. Angelo will forgive her when he remembers how lovely she is. Answer: it is not a sin since they are engaged. How does Angelo feel about Isabella's words? They are logical, they are foolish, they are compassionate, they are aggravating. Answer: they are logical. The title of the play comes from a quotation from the what source? Aristotle, Chaucer, Moses, the Gospels. Answer: the Gospels. In what city does the play take place? Florence, Venice, Vienna, Verona. Answer: Vienna. Under what condition will Angelo let Claudio leave? If Isabella will sleep with him, if the duke resigns, that Claudio will be banished, if Isabella marries him. Answer: if Isabella will sleep with him. Who engineers Claudio escape and survival from punishment? The duke, Aeschylus, the provost, Isabella. Answer: the duke. Who is Mariana? Angelo's former fiancée, prostitute, Claudio's fiancée, a nun. Answer: Angelo's former fiancée. Lucio gets into trouble with the duke for spreading slanders about him, telling people about the duke's mistress, hindering plans to save Claudio, revealing the duke midway through the play. Answer: revealing the duke midway through the play. Which woman sleeps with Angelo in the play? Juliet, Kate Keepdown, Mariana, Isabella. Answer: Mariana. Who is supposed to be executed along with Claudio? Pompey, the pirate, Bernardine, Froth. Answer: Bernardine. When Angelo's conditions for Claudio's release are met, Angelo speeds up Claudio's execution, releases Claudio, sentences him to prison, contacts the duke for advice. Answer: speeds up Claudio's execution. Why does the Duke tell Isabella her brother is dead? So she will make Angelo feel guilty, so that she won't expose his plan, so that she will be happier when she learns the truth. She needs to learn to treasure her brother. Answer: so that she will be happier when she learns the truth. What is Angelo's reaction at receiving the Duke's position? He does not want the position. He is humbled by the power. He secretly thinks he will be better than the Duke. He is glad for the power. Answer: he is humbled by the power. Mistress Overdone is Jazz, Lucio's former mistress, a nun, proprietor of warehouse, Claudio's main defender. Answer: proprietor of warehouse. What else does Angelo do to clean up the city besides sentencing Claudio? Makes search going mandatory, jails all birds and lecherous person, shuts down all warehouse outside the city, bans public festivals. Answer: shuts down all warehouse outside the city. What evidence is there that Claudio committed fornication or lechery? His fiancée is pregnant. Lucio catches him. Juliet informs on him. A prostitute's testimony. Answer: his fiancée is pregnant. The Duke's assumed name when he dresses up as a friar is Jas, Thomas, Dominic, Peter, Lodovico. Answer: Lodovico. Which of these characters is aware of the Duke's disguise before the end? Angelo, the provost, Isabella, Friar Thomas. Answer: Friar Thomas. Who convinces Isabella to advocate for her brother? The provost, Lucio, Claudio himself, the Duke in disguise. Answer: Lucio. The basic plot of Measure for Measure was not new to that play. Rather, its ultimate source was a historical incident supposed to have occurred near Florence in 1525, Milan in 1547, Rome in 1580, Naples in 1600. Answer: Milan in 1547. Which of the following was not written during the same period as the Shakespeare's great tragedies? Troilus and Cressida, All's Well That Ends Well, Measure for Measure, Midsummer Night's Dream. Answer: Midsummer Night's Dream. In considering Claudio's sexual blackmail, Isabella is not weighing her brother's life against her virginity, but Claudio's life on earth against Reinstein, her brother's reputation, the everlasting life of her immortal soul, his chances of living in hell, the remainder of her mortal life. Answer: the everlasting life of her immortal soul. The theme of Measure for Measure is the light of hope in the face of defeat, the importance of laughter despite tragedy, the temperance of justice with mercy, the importance of being earnest. Answer: the temperance of justice with mercy. Given the choice of serving a prison term or becoming an executioner's assistant, Pompey chooses to serve a prison term of 20 years, run away in the middle of the night, learn a new trade executioner's assistant, commit suicide rather than wither away to a slow death in prison. Answer: learn a new trade executioner's assistant. In order to go unrecognized among his subjects, the Duke is disguised as a servant, an executioner, a nun, a friar. Answer: a friar. The Duke assures Marina that the substitute bed partner scheme is not immoral or dishonorable because the Duke himself thought of the scheme. Angelo is Mariana's husband on a pre-contract. It was acceptable behavior during the Renaissance. Neither partner was a virgin. Answer: Angelo is Mariana's husband on a pre-contract. Angelo revenges on his promise to Isabella that he would free her brother because he feared that Claudio, if freed, would take his revenge, is cruel and immoral, intended to carry out the letter of the law no matter what, was obeying orders from the Duke. Answer: feared that Claudio, if freed, would take his revenge. Who said that following? Who is it that hath died for this offence? There is many have committed it. Isabella, Juliet, the Duke, Francisca. Answer: Isabella. Who said the following? An Angelo for Claudio, death for death. Haste still pays haste, and leisure answers leisure. Like doth quite like, and measure still for measure. Bernardian, the Provost, the Duke, Aeschylus. Answer: the Duke. Who said that following? I crave death more willingly than mercy. Pompey, Angelo, Claudio, Peter. Answer: Angelo. Who said the following? Hers comes a man of comfort, whose advice hath often stilled my brawling discontent. Lucio, Francisca, Mistress Overton, Mariana. Answer: Mariana. Who said this set down so in heaven, but not in earth? Angelo, Isabella, Claudio, Mariana. Answer: Isabella. Who said thus, what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with poverty? I custom shrunk. Angelo, Isabella, Mistress Overton, Claudio. Answer: Mistress Overton. Who said over natures do pursue, like rats that ravin down their proper bane, a thirsty evil, and when we drink we die? Claudio, Isabella, Mariana, Juliet. Answer: Claudio. Siddhi is the dash of original. Dear, angel, jewel, queen. Answer: jewel. According to Longnell, Siddhi is a traditional, ignorant, dash girl, innocent, bush, flower, clever. Answer: bush. Longnell teaches jazz, psychology, mathematics, astronomy, Arithmetic. Answer: arithmetic. The villagers called Longnil as Jazz, mad, clever, lion, leader. Answer: mad. Azumer refers to the dash of the Africans: rain god, rainbow god, air god, forest god. Answer: rainbow god. Oro is the god of dash: goodness, rain, punishment, revenge. Answer: punishment. Zero refers to a jazz: hero, priest, akan, criminal. Answer: criminal. The Lion and the Jewel was originally published in jazz year 1961, 1962, 1963, 1964. Answer: 1962. I was musically inclined, but I was too lazy to study music, says by jazz Chinwachbi, Margaret Atwood, Joyce Marshall, Holsainika. Answer: Holsainika. Holsainika began his career as a jazz playwright, poet, teacher, editor. Answer: playwright. The title Madam Attains establishment is in the style of jazz: Royal Lamble, Derek Walcott, Margaret Atwood, Guy de Maupassant. Answer: Guy de Maupassant. Soyinka began to work towards an MA. At this time, completed the first version of jazz: A Dance of the Forest, The Lion and the Jewel, A Shuttle in the Crypt, From Prison. Answer: The Lion and the Jewel. During jazz, Soyinka produced his play The Swamp Dwellers with a student group in London 1958, 1959, 1960, 1961. Answer: 1958. The Lion and the Jewel was staged at the Royal Court in jazz 1866, 1867, 1868, 1869. Answer: 1866. The Lion and the Jewel is a jazz with music, songs and dance, satire, tragedy, satirical comedy, revenge play. Answer: satirical comedy. Longnil was a jazz teacher, doctor, village leader, lawyer. Answer: teacher. The play is divided symbolically into dash episodes: 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer: 3. Barocca is the dash of Eliginil: fox, lion, elephant, deer. Answer: lion. A large passenger ship sails across the Atlantic from jazz: Asia, America, Washington, New York. Answer: New York. A large passenger ship sails across the jazz: Caribbean Sea, Atlantic, Indian Ocean, Red Sea. Answer: Atlantic. The passengers and the seamen create loud noise because they are jazz: sleep, drunk, happy, excited. Answer: drunk. Those whose duty is to show coal into the furnace of the engine is called jazz: fireman, shows, stoker, coalman. Answer: stoker. The man respected Young for his superior, jazz, gunshot, ordinary skill, sword fight, strength. Answer: strength. The older fireman is jazz, Douglas, Long, Paddy, Yonk. Answer: Paddy. When Yonk speaks, other men are always jazz, angry, attentive, studious, quiet. Answer: quiet. Paddy sings jazz song, rum song, beer song, brandy song, whiskey song. Answer: whiskey song. Yonk says that ship is his jazz, slum, birthplace, home, God. Answer: home. Long is a jazz, industrialist, Marxist, capitalist, Democrat. Answer: Marxist. Mildred Douglas is a student of jazz, history, anthropology, sociology, psychology. Answer: sociology. Mildred Douglas travels with her jazz aunt, father, friend, lawyer. Answer: aunt. Mildred Douglas' father is a jazz, coal industrialist, tea industrialist, steel tycoon, hotelier. Answer: steel tycoon. Mildred Douglas has already studied about the living conditions of the other side in the jazz, south end of New York, north end of New York, east end of New York, west end of New York. Answer: east end of New York. Mildred expects the arrival of the jazz, police, doctor, lover, engineer. Answer: engineer. Mildred visits the deck wearing jazz, white dress, red dress, black dress, green dress. Answer: white dress. Mildred faints after seeing the jazz, peace of Yonk, cruelty of Yonk, brutality of Yonk, personality of Yonk. Answer: brutality of Yonk. Mildred calls Yonk as a jazz, slave, animal, filthy beast, ape. Answer: filthy beast. Yonk and Long come in search of Mildred to the jazz, 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue. Answer: 5th Avenue. When Yonk and Long visit the white have gone to jazz, factory, assembly, parliament, search. Answer: search. Yonk is impressed by the jazz, ship and diamonds, money and diamonds, force and diamonds, gold and diamonds. Answer: force and diamonds. Whenever Yonk interrupted the men, mechanically said jazz, ape, nothing, sorry, beg your pardon. Answer: beg your pardon. Yonk stays in the prison for jazz, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Answer: 1 month. Okay, The Death of Salesman, first published in the year dash 1946, 1947, 1948, 1949. Answer: 1949. The Death of Salesman is a jazz act play, 1 act play, 2 act play, 3 act play, 4 act play. Answer: 2 act play. The play premiered on Broadway in February 1949, running for jazz performance 741, 742, 743, 744. Answer: 742 performance. In The Death of Salesman, protagonist name is called Jazz, Linda Lohman, Ben Lohman, Happy Lohman, Willie Lohman. Answer: Willie Lohman. The play The Death of Salesman got Pulitzer Prize in Jazz year 1947, 1948, 1949, 1950. Answer: 1949. Thought the Paraclete was written in Dash year 1931, 1932, 1933, 1934. Answer: 1934. Thought the Paraclete is a jazz poem, love poem, nature poem, sad poem, mystic poem. Answer: mystic poem. Usually the sky is blue, but the poet describes the sky is jazz color: red, blue, yellow, orange. Answer: orange. The orange color sky symbolizes the jazz, love, safety, divinity, silent. Answer: divinity. In this poem, there are jazz movements of the mind as described in the poem: 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer: 4. Hippogriff is a jazz mythical being with the wings of griffin, horse-headed, blue-winged, white-winged, crimson-white. Answer: horse-headed. In the first movement, the thought is jazz in the wastes of God, love, mediator, self-lost, higher mind. Answer: self-lost. The great winged wanderer has finally finished all the way around and his self is jazz, improved, lost, climbed. Answer: lost. One who intercedes on behalf of another and advocate a defender means jazz, Holy Ghost, divinity, mystic, paraclete. Answer: paraclete. Thought the Paraclete, the title given to the jazz, griffin, hippogriff, Holy Ghost, mystic. Answer: Holy Ghost. In this poem, crimson white signifies jazz, divinity, self-lost, mediator, divine consciousness. Answer: divine consciousness. Sylvia Plath was born on October 27 in jazz year 1932, 1933, 1934, 1935. Answer: 1932. Sylvia's father Otto Plath was a jazz, German, Spanish man, Englishman, Italian. Answer: German. In August, jazz, she tried to commit suicide by swallowing sleeping pills. 1952, 1953, 1954, 1955. Answer: 1953. This poem, Jadi, was published in the magazine Jazz, Limelight magazine, Fanfare magazine, Goldberg magazine, Encounter magazine. Answer. Encounter magazine. Jadi is a jazz 5-liner stanza poem. 15, 16, 17, 18. Answer. 16 stanza. Sylvia make use of the dash rhythm. I rhythm, masculine rhythm, feminine rhythm, nursery rhythm. Answer. Nursery rhythm. The poem Daddy is compared with Picasso's graph painting Jazz. Guernica, Lavin, Three Musicians, Gertrude Stein. Answer. Guernica. Sylvia represents her father as a jazz. Black shoe, yellow shoe, white shoe, green shoe. Answer. Black shoe. In the shoe of Nazism, Sylvia has lived like a foot for jazz year. 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, 25 years. Answer. 30 years. Otto Plath became very weak as a result of jazz. Diabetes, mind disorder, heart attack, tuberculosis. Answer. Diabetes. Otto Plath always talked of German jazz, Air Force, Navy, politics, language. Answer. Air Force. Catholic Church banned Milton's Paradise Lost in jazz year. 1730, 1731, 1732, 1733. Answer. 1732. Which devil is Satan's second in command? Moloch, Malchus, Beelzebub, Belial. Answer. Malchus. What is the name of Satan's palace? Pandemonium, Alhambra, Windsor Castle, Versailles. Answer. Pandemonium. How long is Paradise Lost? Jazz. 9,000 lines, 10,000 lines, 11,000 lines, 12,000 lines. Answer. 11,000 lines. In jazz, malus means apple and evil. Latin, Greek, Old English, Bible. Answer. Latin. Who is Lucifer's wife? Malphas, Lilith, Eve, Moloch. Answer. Lilith. Who was the strongest angel? Jazz, Moloch, Beelzebub, Lilith, Metatron. Answer. Metatron. Where is Garden of Eden located today? Persian Gulf, Mexico Gulf, Hudson Gulf, Alaska Gulf. Answer. Persian Gulf. Who was the first woman in Bible? Lilith, Eve, Moloch, Belial. Answer. Lilith. What language did Adam and Eve speak? Jazz, Greek, Odia, Adamic, Latin. Answer. Adamic. Ramana is one of the jazz of Kantapura. Pariahs, Brahmins, weavers, potters. Answer. Brahmins. Jazz throws his temple open to the pariahs. Ramana, Rangana, Range Gowda, Sankar. Answer. Rangana. Jazz is one of the coolies in the Skiffington Coffee Estate and fought against Murthy's arrest. Puttamma, Madana, Rachi, Ratna. Answer Puttamma. The Sankara Vijaya is read out and interrupted by jazz. Ratna, Rangamma, Ramakrishnaya, Murthy. Answer Ramakrishnaya. Jazz is raped during Don't Pay Tax campaign. Sithamma, Rangamma, Puttamma, Sarasamma. Answer Puttamma. An explosive sound is produced by jazz. The explosion of a gas cylinders, the breaking of toady pots, the explosion of bomb, the car accident. Answer the explosion of a gas cylinders. Nehru is equated to jazz. Bhatta, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata. Answer Bharata. Kantapura is in the province of jazz. Karwar, Mysore, Bangalore, Kara. Answer Kara. In the absence of Murthy and Rangamma, the women are led by jazz. Ratna, Venkamma, Sarasamma, Puttamma. Answer Ratna. Toady is described by women as jazz, elixir, buttermilk, angel, scorpion. Answer Scorpion. Thank you. Who is Mini Gandhi in the novel Kantapura? Bidkan, Sankar, Murthy, Range Gowda. Answer Murthy. Bidkan was a jazz lawyer, teacher, doctor, policeman. Answer policeman. Ratna is jazz. Venniyamma's daughter, widowed daughter of Kamalamma, Bhatta's wife, none of this. Answer widowed daughter of Kamalamma. Bhatta is a jazz in the beginning. Beggar, landlord, businessman, criminal. Answer beggar. When the novel Kantapura develops, Bhatta is a jazz in Kantapura village. Beggar, rich man, priest, doctor. Answer rich man. Jazz gets Murthy excommunicated. Ratna, Venkamma, Rachana, Bhatta. Answer Bhatta. When Murthy released from prison, a grand reception is arranged by the jazz in Kantapura. Brahmins, porters, parayas, none of these. Answers parayas. During the Don't Pay Taxes campaign, Da's house is burnt down. Ratna's house, Venkamma's house, Rachana's house, Bhatta's house. Answer Bhatta's house. Da's house becomes the nerve center of Congress activities. Ratna's, Venkamma's, Rangamma's, Rachana's. Answer Rangamma's house. Widowed in her teenage, Jazz is quite unlike the traditional Hindu widows. Venkamma, Ratna, Rangamma, none of this. Answer Ratna. Jazz is the most valiant of Murthy's supporters. Rachana, Range Gowda, Bhatta, Ratna. Answer Range Gowda. Jazz is the central figure in the novel Kantapura. Bhatta, Rachana, Rangamma, Murthy. Answer Murthy. Jazz is the first Brahmin, the opposite of Murthy, the agent of the British government. Bhatta, the Swami, Patel Ranga Gowda, none of these. Answer: the Swami. The Hunter Sahib is Jas Murthy, the Swami, the White, owner of Skiffington Coffee Estate. Answer: owner of Skiffington Coffee Estate. Sankar is Jas at Karwar, doctor, teacher, advocate, priest. Answer: advocate. Which is the first work of Raja Rao? The Serpent and the Rope, The Cat and Shakespeare, Comrade Kirlo, Kanthapura. Answer: Kanthapura. Raja Rao's first novel Kanthapura was published in Jas year 1938, 1937, 1939, 1936. Answer: 1938. Kanthapura was written by Raja Rao during his stay in Jas, India, America, England, France. Answer: France. Kanthapura was a dash situated in the valley of the river Himavati, lake, city, village, mountain. Answer: village. Raja Rao wrote his second novel, The Serpent and the Rope, dash years after the publication of Kanthapura. 19 years, 20 years, 21 years, 22 years. Answer: 22 years. Raja Rao's third novel is Jas, Kanthapura, Comrade Kirlo, The Serpent and the Rope, The Cat and Shakespeare. Answer: The Cat and Shakespeare. Raja Rao's second novel, The Serpent and the Rope, appeared in Jas year 1958, 1959, 1960, 1961. Answer: 1960. Raja Rao's father was a Jas, a professor, a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer. Answer: a professor. Raja Rao met Professor Dickinson in Jas, Oxford University, Agra University, Cambridge University, Aligarh University. Answer: Aligarh University. The Guru of Raja Rao is Jas, Swami Vivekananda, Swami Ramakrishna, Swami Ramanatha, Swami Atmananda. Answer: Swami Atmananda. Oliver Goldsmith எழுதின She Stoops to Conquer அப்படிங்கிற ட்ராமா பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒன் வேர்ட்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். Who is the expected gentleman caller? Tony, Marlowe, Hastings, Bouncer. Answer: Marlowe. What is the three pigeons? School, hospital, old theatre, inn. Answer: inn. Miss Nivelli is in love with whom? Tony Lumpkin, Hastings, Charles Marlowe, Bouncer. Answer: Hastings. Who directs Marlowe to Hackcastle's house as to an inn? Tony, Tiggory, Hastings, barmaid. Answer: Tony. How much pounds will Tony get a year when he comes of age? 100, 200, 1500, 1000. Answer: 1500. Where does Hastings want to run away with Nivelli? Spain, Portugal, France, Sweden. Answer: France. What does Mrs. Hardcastle tell when Miss Novelli demands her jewels. She had stole them, she lost them, she need them, she missed them. Answer: she lost them. What is the role played by Miss Hardcastle to win Marlowe? Housemaid, barmaid, nurse, horseman. Answer: barmaid. Most of Miss Novelli's fortune is in the form of jazz, money, land, jewels, property. Answer: jewels. Miss Hardcastle's former husband is Jazz, Marlowe, Lumpkin, Hardcastle, Diggory. Answer: Lumpkin. Marlowe and Hastings come to the three Pigeons because they, Jazz, want to drink, lost their way, take rest, want to stay. Answer: lost their way. வேர்ட்ஸ்வர்த் எழுதின ப்ரெல்யூட் புக் 1 பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான வேர்ட்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். வேர்ட்ஸ்வர்த் செட்டில்டு வித் his sister Dorothy and become a neighbor of Jazz, Coleridge, Shelley, Byron, Keats. Answer: Coleridge. The Prelude is an account of the best part of Wordsworth's education that he received from Jazz, love, nature, real life, divine life. Answer: nature. The Prelude is subtitled as Jazz, the growth of a poet's mind, the growth of a poet's love, the growth of a poet's talent, the growth of a poet's mind. Answer: the growth of a poet's mind. The gentle Jazz is a divine visitor from heaven, breeze, man, person, air. Answer: breeze. Wordsworth has escaped from the great city of Jazz, where he lived for a long time in an unhappy state, London, Italy, Greece, England. Answer: London. Sometimes Wordsworth would like to narrate the story of the Roman general Jazz, Marcus Antonius, Pompus, Magnus, Mithridates. Answer: Mithridates. After his defeat and after leading an obscure life for a number of years, Mithridates reappeared as Jazz, Lucius, Gaius, Marcus, Odin. Answer: Odin. Jazz, Roman general, fled out of Spain and took shelter in the Fortunate Islands. Odin, Mithridates, Stertorius, Magnus. Answer: Sertorius. Gustavus I was the king of Jazz, Spain, Netherlands, Rome, Sweden. Answer: Sweden. Wallace fought for the liberty of Spain, Scotland, Netherlands, Switzerland. Answer: Scotland. Jazz was the fieriest of all rivers: Thames, Severn, Tarrant, Derwent. Answer: Derwent. The towering top of Jazz Mountain turned rich brown like bronze by the light of the sun. Skiddaw, Crossfell, Helvellyn, Great Gable. Answer: Skiddaw. In the month of Jazz, the clouds moving down the valley made the valley lonely. September, October, November, April. Answer: November. In the jazz season, after the sunset, the cottage fires could be seen from miles away through the darkness of the twilight. Winter, summer, spring, autumn. Answer: winter. The village clock announced the hour of dash clearly and loudly. 6, 7, 8, 9. Answer: 6. Wordsworth could give an account of the boughs of jazz trees: alder, aspen, birch, hazel. Answer: hazel. The loud roaring sound could be compared with the howling of a large number of jazz, lions, owls, bears, wolves. Answer: wolves. மேத்யூ ஆர்னால்டு எழுதின டோவர் பீச் அப்படிங்கிற போயம் பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒன் வேர்ட்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். டோவர் பீச் வாஸ் published in Jazz in New Poems 1865, 1866, 1867, 1868. Answer: 1867. Dover Beach is one of the greatest jazz of Arnold. Nature poem, romantic poem, word, elegy. Answer: elegy. The musical note brings jazz to the poet. Believe, sad, happy, brave. Answer: sad. Jazz also heard a note of sadness in the Aegean Sea. Virgil, Eliot, Sophocles, Callias. Answer: Sophocles. Arnold believes that jazz alone can sustain mankind. Love, belief, joy, peace. Answer: love. Arnold wrote his pastoral elegy Thyrsis in jazz 1865, 1866, 1867, 1868. Answer: 1867. In the jazz age, the sea of faith has run dry and people are skeptical. Elizabethan age, Victorian age, modern age, middle age. Answer: Victorian age. நம்ம எமிலி டிக்கின்சன் எழுதின பிகாஸ் ஐ குட் நாட் ஸ்டாப் ஃபார் டெத் அப்படிங்கிற போயம் பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒன் வேர்ட்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். Emily Dickinson was born in Jazz 1830, 1831, 1832, 1833. Answer: 1830. After Emily's death, her younger sister Jazz discovered the mass of Emily's poems. Emily Bronte, Emily Austen, Lavinia, Helen Fiske. Answer: Lavinia. In 1955, Thomas H. Johnson published the poems of Emily Dickinson in jazz volumes 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer: 3. Jazz is introduced as a lover or a suitor. Death, funeral, love, chariot. Answer: death. The grave has only a heap of jazz for its cornice, bones, dust, sand, earth. Answer: earth. The poetess has only jazz as her gown, cobwebs, gossamer, silken, soft. Answer: gossamer. The carriage moves jazz forward, backward, upward, downward. Answer: forward. The carriage has stopped before jazz, school, sunset, house, graveyard. Answer: house. Emily Dickinson died in jazz year 1885, 1886, 1887, 1888. Answer: 1886. Emily Dickinson's father was a jazz teacher, doctor, lawyer, journalist. Answer: lawyer. Thanks. William Hazlitt எழுதின My First Acquaintance with the Poets அப்படிங்கிற டாபிக் பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒன் வேர்ட்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். Coleridge came to Shrewsbury to preach a sermon in jazz 1795, 1796, 1797, 1798. Answer: 1798. Hazlitt wanted to listen the Coleridge sermon, so he walked jazz miles, 4 miles, 6 miles, 8 miles, 10 miles. Answer: 10 miles. The subject of Coleridge's sermon could be described as jazz and jazz, love and death, soul and body, peace and war, poetry and philosophy. Answer: peace and war. A leader of the feminist movement, jazz: Mackintosh, Wollstonecraft, Burke, Goodwin. Answer: Wollstonecraft. A defender of French Revolution, jazz: Wollstonecraft, Goodwin, Mackintosh, Burke. Answer: Mackintosh. Coleridge received a letter from his friend jazz: Charles Lamb, Robert Southey, Wedgwood, Bishop Butler. Answer: Wedgwood. Coleridge spoke high of Beckerley, especially his jazz: Essay on Nature, Essay on Poets, Essay on Vision, Essay on Love. Answer: Essay on Vision. Coleridge said that if jazz works have been prescribed as a textbook in English universities, it will be disgrace. Hume's works, Berkeley's works, Bishop Butler's works, Paley's works. Answer: Paley's works. Who was the first poet Hazlitt acquainted? Wordsworth, Coleridge, Herogix, Robert Southey. Answer: Coleridge. Peter Bell, a character in one of jazz poems. Coleridge, Hazlitt, Wordsworth, Byron. Answer: Wordsworth. Hazlitt spends jazz weeks with Coleridge: 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Answer: 3 weeks. John Chester, a native of Netherstowey and one of the admirers of jazz. Wordsworth, Coleridge, Hazlitt, Southey. Answer: Coleridge. Coleridge descended jazz as the best modern poet: Eliot, Chester, Cowper, Virgil. Answer: Cowper. Coleridge compared Shakespeare with jazz: Milton, Chaucer, Wordsworth, Richardson. Answer: Milton. The liberal essay was published in Jazz 1821, 1822, 1823, 1824. Answer 1823. Lives of the most eminent English poets written by Jazz: Milton, Johnson, Spenser, Aristotle. Answer Johnson. Lives of the most eminent English poets consist Jazz poets biographies 51, 52, 53, 54. Answer 52. Lives of the most eminent English poets arranged by Jazz: alphabet order, career, their position, date of birth. Answer date of birth. Johnson hated Milton's jazz principles and despised his impracticable philosophy, writing principles, living principles, ruling principles, democratic principles. Answer democratic principles. Most of the leaves can be divided into jazz parts 2, 3, 4, 5. ஜான்சன் எழுதின பயோகிராஃபிஸில் பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா பெரும்பாலும் வந்துட்டு 3 பார்ட்டாக பிரிச்சிருப்பார் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ். ஸோ அதில் பார்த்துறீங்க அப்படின்னா பயோகிராஃபி, ப்ரீஃப் கேரக்டர், கிரிட்டிக்கல் செக்ஷன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி 3 பார்ட்டாக பிரிச்சிருப்பார். டாக்டர் ஜான்சன் accuses Milton of jazz, pride, envy, selfishness, superiority complex. Answer superiority complex. Milton became an enemy of the jazz whom he had favored before: Norwegians, Spaniards, Presbyterians, critic writers. Answer Presbyterians. Johnson ridicules Milton's relationship with jazz and advocate of liberty: Cromwell, Eliot, Addison, Shepherd. Answer Cromwell. Jazz of which the diction has the rhymes uncertain and the numbers unpleasing: Lycidas, Paradise Lost, Samson Agonist, Comus. Answer Lycidas. Dr. Johnson wrote a letter to Lord Chesterfield in which he referred about jazz: Venus and Adonis, The Rambler, Virgil and Shepherd, Paradise Regained. Answer Virgil and Shepherd. Johnson praises jazz for its defense of virtue: Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained, Lycidas, Comus. Answer Comus. Johnson praises Paradise Lost and defends jazz criticism on Satan: Addison's criticism, Steele's criticism, Richard's criticism, Cromwell's criticism. Answer Addison's criticism. Dr. Johnson fails to appreciate the jazz of Milton fully because he could not see the beauty of jazz criticism, life, writings, blank verse. Answer blank verse. The periodical The Rambler was edited by Jazz, Addison, Steele, Milton, Johnson. Answer Johnson. Dr. Johnson's dictionary was published in Jazz year 1655, 1755, 1855, 1955. Answer 1755. Saho, a famous club, was started by Jazz, Johnson, Milton, Addison, Steele. Answer: Johnson. Johnson's biography was written by Jas, Cromwell, Arnold, Boswell, Steele. Answer: Boswell. Milton visited many countries. The city he visited first was Jas, Italy, Paris, England, Germany. Answer: Paris. Johnson says in Life of Milton that Milton was born between Jas 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 6 and 7, 12 and 1. Answer: 6 and 7. According to Johnson, Jas is the work of Milton deserves not any particular criticism. Lycidas, Paradise Lost, Comus, Samson Agonist. Answer: Comus. Johnson considers Milton's Paradise Lost in Jas for its performance: first place, second place, third place, fourth place. Answer: second place. According to Johnson, Milton's sonnets are Jas, very worst, beautiful, useful, not bad. Answer: very worst. Johnson criticizes Jas as one of the books which the reader admires and lay down and forgets to take up again: Comus, Lycidas, Samson Agonist, Paradise Lost. Answer: Lycidas. Jas, had this poem been written not by Milton, it would have claimed and received universal prize: Lycidas, Comus, Paradise Lost, Samson Agonist. Answer: Comus. Johnson admires much Milton's Jas, Lycidas, Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained, Samson Agonist. Answer: Samson Agonist. Milton's favorite poet was Jas, Eliot, Spenser, Cowley, Pope. Answer: Cowley. Milton married Catherine as his Jas wife, first, second, third. Answer: second wife. Milton married Jas times: once, twice, thrice. Answer: thrice. தாமஸ் கிட்ட எழுதின ஸ்பானிஷ் ட்ராஜடி அப்படிங்கிற ட்ராமா பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒன் வேர்ட்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். Who captures Balthasar's horse? Andrea, Horatio, Hieronima, Lorenzo. Answer: Lorenzo. Who narrates to Bellampria how Balthasar pushed down Andrea from his horse and murdered at the warfield? Hieronimo, Horatio, Balthasar, Villupo. Answer: Horatio. Horatio performed the Andrea's funeral rites after the Jas days: 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Answer: 3 days. Who sends Pedrignano as a spy for Bellampria? Horatio, Lorenzo, Balthasar, Revenge. Answer: Balthasar. Who hangs Horatio up a tree and stabs several times to death? Lorenzo, Balthasar, Pedrignano, Cerberian. Answer: Cerberian. Hieronimo mourns the death of his son in a soliloquy. Suddenly a letter drops from the sky written in Jas, ink, blood, paint, embroidery. Answer: blood. Lorenzo asks Pedrignano to kill Cerberian by offering jazz. Good job, gold, silver, land. Answer: gold. Who catch Pedrignano red-handed and take him to the king's marshal? Cerberian, page, Lorenzo, watchman. Answer: watchman. Pedrignano hanged by whom? Lorenzo, Balthasar, page, Hieronimo. Answer: Hieronimo. Who gives a letter which he recovered from Pedrignano's body, which stated the truth of Horatius' murder? Page, Cerberian, Villipo, hangman. Answer: hangman. Lorenzo sends a page to Cerberian with the message that he should meet him and Balthasar at St. Louis Park at jazz o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Answer: 8 o'clock. Hieronimo is terribly upset due to his son's murder. He goes to meet the king with a jazz in his hands, demanding justice. Bellampria's letter, Pedrignano's letter, dagger, poison. Answer: dagger. Hieronimo agrees to enact a tragedy which he wrote during his student days at the University of Jazz, Cambridge, Chicago, Toronto, Brest. Answer: Toronto. In the play Solomon and Persida, Balthasar act as a jazz, knight, courtier, Persida, Solomon. Answer: Solomon. Lorenzo is killed by jazz, Hieronimo, Bellampria, revenge, Andrea. Answer: Hieronimo. Matthew Arnold எழுதின தி ஸ்டடி ஆஃப் பொய்ட்ரிங்கிற ரைட்டிங்ஸ் பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒர்க்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நீங்கள் இன்னும் நம்ம சேனலை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணலை அப்படின்னா மறக்காமல் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்கள். வாங்க வீடியோக்குள்ளே இருப்பலாம். மேத்யூ ஆர்னால்டு born in jazz 1722, 1822, 1744, 1844. Answer: 1822. Arnold wrote his pastoral elegy Thyrsis in jazz year 1865, 1866, 1867, 1868. Answer: 1867. Arnold's first volume of The Strayed Reveller and Other Poems published in jazz year 1849, 1850, 1851, 1852. Answer: 1849. Poetry is a criticism of jazz, language, life, action, classics. Answer: life. According to jazz, criticism of life means the poet or novelist, by creating ideal pictures of life, provides an ideal standard with which the facts of real life can be contrasted. Arnold, Wordsworth, Shelley, Byron. Answer: Wordsworth. Jazz refers to the matter or substance of poetry. Historic estimate, self-estimate, touchstone method, poetic truth. Answer: poetic truth. According to dash, beauty is truth, truth beauty. Wordsworth, Shelley, Byron, Keats. Answer, Keats. According to dash, poetry is the breath and finer spirit of all knowledge. Wordsworth, Shelley, Arnold, Dryden. Answer, Wordsworth. Who says, without poetry our science will appear incomplete? Byron, Eliot, Arnold, Keats. Answer, Arnold. Who says poetry is purifying our wit? Spencer, Wordsworth, Arnold, Sidney. Answer, Sidney. Who says the future of poetry is immense? Arnold, Shelley, Byron, Wordsworth. Answer, Arnold. Who says if he is a dubious classic, let us sift him? Coleridge, Wordsworth, Arnold, Eliot. Answer, Arnold. Who says touchstone method is the comparative method of criticism? Arnold, Wordsworth, Byron, Keats. Answer, Arnold. The modern poets should be compared with the celebrated dash writers: ancient, famous, good, moral. Answer, ancient. According to dash, high seriousness is the hallmark of great poetry. Arnold, Aristotle, Wordsworth, Coleridge. Answer, Aristotle. High seriousness means dash, talent, God's gift, waste, grand style. Answer, grand style. Chaucer borrows his rhyme and meter from dash, Greek, French, Italy, Egypt. Answer, French. Dash says Milton is in very truth a poet whom we must treat with all reverence. Chaucer, Aristotle, Byron, Goethe. Answer, Goethe. He expresses his feelings and sentiments in the language of the heart, not of the intellect. Who? Aristotle, Chaucer, Wordsworth, Gray. Answer, Gray. Much of dash poetry deals with Scotch life. Goethe, Gray, Burns, Arnold. Answer, Burns. Arnold considered his dash among his favorite works: Scholar Gypsy, Culture and Anarchy, Literature and Dogma, Discourse in America. Answer, Discourse in America. Dash is the second greatest English classics after Shakespeare: Chaucer, Milton, Byron, Gray. Answer, Milton. டாக்டர் ஃபாஸ்டஸ்ங்கிற ட்ராமா பேஸ்டான சில இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டான ஒன் வேர்ட்ஸை பார்க்கலாம். டாக்டர் ஃபாஸ்டஸ் டிசைட்ஸ் டு ஸ்டடி dash, தியாலஜி, சைக்காலஜி, necromancy, pharmacy. Answer, necromancy. Necromancy means dash, black art of magic, black magic art, black art. Answer: Black art of magic. Who is the lieutenant of the Prince of Hell? Lucifer, Franciscan friar, Mephistopheles, Robin. Answer: Mephistopheles. Faustus dismisses Mephistopheles and asks him to come back in the shape of Jas. Dragon, horse, Franciscan friar, Lucifer. Answer: Franciscan friar. Who called as the prince of the devils? Lucifer, Mephistopheles, Robin, Crave. Answer: Lucifer. The condition that Faustus allowed to enjoy the sensuous pleasure on the earth for just years, 24 years, 12 years, 34 years, 18 years. Answer: 24 years. Ballio and Belcher was a jazz, knights, horse traders, spirits from hell, hotel servants. Answer: spirits from hell. Who says these lines? Hell is not confined to a single place, but wherever the sinful souls live, there is hell. Faustus, Lucifer, Mephistopheles, God. Answer: Mephistopheles. Who says these lines? Marriage is a silly ideal ceremony. Lucifer, Mephistopheles, Faustus, Crave. Answer: Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles gives Faustus jazz that will help him to perform miracles like getting gold, magical words, magical stick, magical book, spirit. Answer: magic book. Who tells that after signing the contract he cannot pray to God or Christ, and that Christ cannot save him? Bad angel, old man, Mephistopheles, Lucifer. Answer: Lucifer. The opening of the third act, the dash tell the audience what Faustus has been doing after giving up his soul to the devil. Lucifer, Crave, Robin, chorus. Answer: chorus. Faustus travelled from east to west and round the poles and returned home in just days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days. Answer: 8 days. Faustus climbed on a dragon with wings to study jazz, acrology, hematology, cosmography, dragonology. Answer: cosmography. Faustus see the Pope and participate in the feast of Jazz Day, St. Peter's Day, St. Lucifer's Day, St. Christ Day, St. Thomas Day. Answer: St. Peter's Day. Where Dr. Faustus sees a group of bad-headed monks. Hell, forest, feast of St. Peter's Day, Prince Hall. Answer: feast of St. Peter's Day. Robin and Crave together have stolen a jazz goblet of wine cellar of an inn. Silver goblet, gold goblet, platinum goblet, lead goblet. Answer: silver goblet. Foster sells his magic horse for $, $20, $30, $40, $50. Answer: $40. Duchess wishes to have a dish of grapes in the jazz. Midwinter, midsummer, mid-autumn, mid-spring. Answer: midwinter. Dr. Foster's attaining a doctor's degree in jazz, thematology, theology, psychology, black magic. Answer: theology. ஓகே ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், இந்த வீடியோ இதோட முடிஞ்சது.